You may have heard a little bit more about a homeless shelter project that's gaining some momentum here in the Cranbrook area. Major Kirk is in from the Salvation Army today along with Neil Cook. Hello there.
Good morning.
How's it going?
It's going excellent. It's a beautiful day out there. Who wouldn't be in a good mood?
Absolutely. Neil's part in this project, so everybody's introduced to what's happening here today.
Neil is a longtime member and past president of the Cranbrook and District Community Foundation, who's been a partner with us in this endeavor for the last 6 or 7 years. Neil also sits on the Housing Coalition. That's the community group that is helping to steer this project, and he's just an invaluable member, and that's why he's here today to lend his expertise.
What is the hardest part, Neil, when you're putting together a project like this, aside from funding?
Well, building community support, doing the analysis process, and then working with the provincial government and the federal government to try and pull all of the funding sources and project together.
How big do you want it to be?
Well, we're currently looking at 12 short-term beds and up to 36 longer-term beds at the site. And we've gone through a number of different designs over the last 6 years, but we're working very closely with the Army and the Salvation Army and BC Housing to try and come up with something that meets the needs in our region.
What are what's the work procedure for the Salvation Army and the people that are going to be working in it to make the homeless shelter go?
How do you mean work procedure?
What do the people do that take care of those that are in?
Well, the proposed facility will be staffed with support workers, addictions, mental health workers, those type of individuals that'll be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to offer the supports that a lot of individuals need. You know, they need life skills training, you need budgeting training, you need all of that type of thing, and that's what we're prepared to offer.
Do you have enough staff there with you, with the Salvation Army? Does that press you a little bit?
Not currently. If we are successful in our discussions with BC Housing, and we're in that discovery mode now, if we're successful, we will be hiring extra folks.
Neil, what else do you have to do behind the scenes? It sounds like you're well in line with the paperwork to get this going then.
Well, we're touching base with the Regional District and the Columbia Basin Trust. We're going to be reaching out and reconnecting with the City of Cranbrook. As I said, the federal and provincial governments and their entities, Canada Mortgage and Housing, and the BC Housing Development folks.
Is there a model that someone could look at in the province, or one that you've been following? I understand in the Fraser Valley there's one in Chilliwack that you...
There's a bunch of different models, and Neil and I have toured around the province looking at a lot of them, and what we're hoping to do is make this a sort of a collage of all of them. We are trying to pull what is good out of each of those facilities and come up with something that is unique for Cranbrook that'll meet all the needs of this population.
How will those that are wanting to be in this facility, how will they apply, or how will you, I hate to use the word judge, but how do you evaluate someone that could be living in a homeless shelter like this?
Well, we're seeing, as Cranbrook's become a regional center for healthcare and government services in the East Kootenay region, we're seeing a lot of people coming from the Columbia Valley and the Creston Valley and the Elk Valley, and they're being referred to the Army through provincial and community social service agencies. So that inflow is already occurring even in the existing Salvation Army site, and it'll be enhanced by referrals through BC Housing and their network of people in the region.
Even the lead-up funding though, how much money will it take to operate a homeless shelter once it's in motion, everybody's in it and everybody's working?
You are looking at anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million a year when you consider, you know, heating and light and maintenance and staff cost and feeding people and all of that type of thing. I can't give you an exact number because at this point the proposal is, as Neil said, 12 short-term shelter beds, 36 individual suites. But it's going to be between $500,000 and $1 million a year.
Have you solidified the area it's going to go into? Have you got land for it?
Well, adjacent to the Salvation Army current site in Slater in Cranbrook, there's about an 1.5 acre area of land that's being put into the project by the Salvation Army. It used to be the old Home Hardware lumber yard. And the beauty of that site is that the Army's already conducting a lot of these services as a winter shelter for the last decade. The Army also has a on-site dental clinic, the first of its type in Canada for shelters, and we're looking to expand that footprint in the new building So we have some volunteer retired dentists and some practicing dentists who come there and do charitable work, as you know, helping folks out with dental. But they have a clothes exchange. They have a commercial kitchen that provides, you know, meals every day and a school lunch program. They have a barber come to the site. So the Army is uniquely qualified in our community to meet that need.
That's good for you though too, Kirk, because if something comes up and you need to help out, you're right there. You don't have to drive across town.
We already own that property, so it's just, if we are successful, this is going to be a unique situation, and it's an ideal location.
What are you asking from the public at this time?
Just their continued support. Over the last 6 or 7 years that we've been trying to get this project off the ground, the community of Cranbrook has been extremely supportive, and we're just asking for that to continue at this point. As I said earlier, we're in that discovery mode with BC Housing, and once we're able to solidify those conversations, we just need the support.
Neil, do you have enough letters of support now?
We do. We've been doing this for about 6 years now. And that's what's helping us out with BC Housing right now, as they're moving into some different programming dollars with the federal government, is that at this site, we've done the geotechnical, the geothermal, we've done the access review, we've done community meetings, we've talked to the neighbors in a public forum. So there's a long history of us doing the work, and that's paying off at this time because BC Housing is looking for some projects that they can get moving on.
Good luck with what you're doing. Thank you for updating us here.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Major Kirk Green in studio with us from the Salvation Army. Neil Cook working hard on this project, a homeless shelter for Cranbrook.